Well, good Wednesday morning, everybody. It's good to talk with you again. I decided I'd change environments a little bit and come out to our gorgeous Chestnut Creek Pond that we have the beautiful privilege of availing ourselves of the beauty of it here on the edge of our property here. I hope things are going well for you. I just wanted to mention a couple things this morning. As you will be seeing in Sunday's bulletin, we are adjusting things a little bit there. Hopefully it'll settle down. These adjustments and changes will settle down a bit. We went from the one format back to our old format that we have used for a while. And the unfortunate thing is, with everything in there, it was still the font way too small. So we've done some adjustments, and part of the reason for this adjustment, yes, obviously for us, our older eyes, to be able to read better, but also to be able to get us into our Book of Common Prayer. This is part of our heritage as Episcopalians, that we have access to the great wealth of what is in the Book of Common Prayer. The sad thing is as Episcopalians, we don't get into it that often. And if we're doing everything in our bulletin, we don't even open a Book of Common Prayer on Sunday morning. Having said that, we don't want it to be too confusing for newcomers, folks who aren't familiar with our liturgy as Episcopalians, because I've been in this where I've gone to a church as a brand new Episcopalian, and they're doing everything from the Book of Common Prayer. And so I'm fumbling from the left and to the right and trying to find my way through there. And even if I'm on the right page, there's a lot of rubrics and other stuff in there that it's a little confusing to find out and try to keep up with where everybody else is at in that. And so we don't want that to happen. And yet it is a real good thing for us to be able to dig into the Book of Common Prayer a little bit. And so for this Sunday, I think the Nicene Creed is not in there. I've forgotten what our final decision is on that, but we've reduced that, I think, and the Eucharistic prayers is not in there, so we will be going to the page. It will be mentioned in the bulletin, what page we are on. And so just be aware that we will be using our bulletin as well as our Books of Common Prayer this coming Sunday, and we'll see how all that goes. Again, very little stuff is set in stone. We will continue to adjust as we need to do that, and so just mentioning that. The other thing, and I did mention this, I think last Wednesday as well as Sunday announcements, that with this variant ramping up, the Delta variant of the coronavirus ramping up, and Sarasota County being one of the highest counties, it's a bit scary. There are enough people who are unvaccinated that are getting that, and there's people ending up in the hospital. So we are encouraging people to, if you feel a little uncomfortable or would like to, please feel free to wear a mask during service. You noticed last Sunday, Father Bob and I both wore masks during the handing out of the host during communion. And so we just encourage you to feel free to wear a mask if you would like. What we are also encouraging people to do is to separate between you or your family and people on the right and the left of you. We're not going to mark off chairs in the nave. We're going to trust you in that to give a little bit of distance. We're not going to be going back to every other row. We're not going to do that, but we are looking at just giving a little bit of space between you and the people on either side of you. Again, just trying to make this as cautious as we need to be, and yet not too prohibitive. So we're trying to walk the balance in that. Again, if you have any questions about those things, please reach out to Lynn in the office, and if any questions you have. The other thing I would like to encourage you, and I met with our senior and junior warden this morning to discuss these things. There are a few folks in our parish who are not vaccinated. Generally, those are folks who are immune compromised, and it's not advisable by their doctor to get the vaccine. I'm not speaking to those, but if we have anyone else in our parish who is not currently vaccinated, there's a lot of solid, reputable scientific research that's been done into this antivirus. Whether you're talking the Pfizer or the Moderna that I got, or whatever, the Johnson & Johnson one that's out there, that the efficacy of those is pretty solid and pretty strong, and so it helps us out. And so I just send out a little bit of note of encouragement. If there's anyone who's watching this that health-wise you're in pretty good shape, but you're choosing not to take the antivirus, let me just nudge you maybe the possibility of taking the shot. You obviously do that to protect yourself, but you're also doing that to protect others. The unfortunate thing is, within our country, because we have a large segment that has chosen not to get the vaccine, that this virus has continued to mutate and become a little bit more virulent. We're looking at this Delta virus that is nastier than the previous versions on this, and so the more people we can get who can be vaccinated, then there is a less likely chance of it continuing to mutate and becoming even more of a problem for us. So that's just a word of thought from this non-scientist, listening to the voices that are out there in the scientific community and the information that is out there. So again, keep yourself safe. Try to do what I do. When I go into the grocery store, into Walmart these days, I wear a mask. Yes, I'm fully vaccinated, but I still wear a mask because I could still become a carrier of this virus. And so I wear a mask to keep myself safe, because I don't want to get a bit sick, because I can still get sick on this virus, having vaccinated. But I won't get as sick as I would have been if I hadn't been vaccinated. And so I do wear a mask when I go out and about in public places. So I just encourage you that way as well. Again, if you have any needs, reach out to myself, Deacon Michael, Father Bob. Reach out to Lynn if you have any questions. May God keep you safe the rest of this week.